Erica wasn't here, so is it
Yeah.
unanimous?
It's for those on the episode, and
Okay.
So the quintessential question is: does white count? Does my vote count in this world of the podcast?
Your opinion matters, just not as much as ours. Okay.
Turn it up, we're live right now. Locked in, can't stop this sound. Big wave, ride that energy. Welcome to the show. This is where you wanna be.
Welcome to Seeing This, the movie podcast where we bring you the latest movie reviews, celebrate our favorite movie anniversaries, compete in competitive movie drafts, and much, much more. I am the movie Mamba, Mike Cornelis, and Erica isn't on today's episode, so I guess we'll have to wait for our 4G. Joining me on the podcast is the Gerber babyface assassin agent Cedeno.
They're just gonna have to find their own entry point.
Also joining us is the optimistic critic Chad Liffman.
Skeleton key for millennials.
And that's all in reference to The Invite, Olivia Wilde's latest film. I had a lot of fun with this one, so I'm looking forward to our conversation around this. As I mentioned, we don't have Erica, so you get to hear us mansplain our thoughts around this film. Would have been great to have a woman's perspective, but Erica will be back next week. So next week we will have The Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's latest film. Full disclosure, Chad and myself got to see it last night. And Chad, you'll be joining us for that one as well?
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it.
So make sure to check out The Odyssey. But we're here to talk about The Invite. Before we do that, last Friday, I got to sit down and speak with filmmakers Teddy Stern and Sneha Mehta, whose short film Guitar Hero premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival. And it takes us on a journey as an Indian musician dressed as a cowboy journeys along the evening in India, losing his guitar, and he has to find a way to make it to his next gig. An incredible short. Everyone should seek that out. If you go to Guitar, G-E-T-A-R, guitarherofilm.com, you get more information where that is playing. But check out our interview. It's spoiler free there, and you can get a sense of what the energy of the movie is. So check that out. And as I mentioned, next Monday, Christopher Nolan is back with The Odyssey, which is packed with Hollywood stars, and it is his follow-up to the Oscar-winning film Oppenheimer. But we'll get into that next week. Before we get into The Invite, there's a lot we have seen this week. A lot has been going on. The World Cup, I think we've all been following. Adrian has been as excited since Ecuador made their exit. But a lot of teams have made their exit. We're at that point. But Adrian, kick us off. What have you seen this week?
So I saw Little Brother, John Cena, and Eric Andre. It was funny.
I'm just so curious. When you choose what you're going to watch, do you automatically be like, John Cena, Eric Andre, that's a brain buffering. It's probably going to be my vibe, or is it just coincidence you find these movies?
It's just coincidence.
Okay.
I was going through like a list of movies, like which one do I want to watch, and then I saw that and I was like, I think I could check this out. It is definitely a brain buffering movie. John Cena wants to help his college. So as a high schooler, he becomes a big brother, like in a big brother program for like the YMCA Youth of America. And his little brother happens to be Eric Andre. So now years later, he escapes from a mental institution to go be with John Cena, his brother. And that's the whole premise of the story.
Hijinks ensues.
Correct. And then Congo, I went back and revisited Congo. Big fan of Michael Crichton. I'm reading another one of his books that I haven't gone by yet. So when I saw Congo on HBO, I was like, oh, let me check this out. I put it back on. And let me tell you, it still smacks. Like it's not good. It's really like the graphics, the gorillas, they're not good. Like you could tell it's a movie. The whole premise, my name is Amy.
Amy, good gorilla.
Yeah. Yes. But I like the premise. I like the story. It's still so good, but so bad at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
I need to rewatch that. That's exciting.
Well, you've seen some interesting films as well, Chad. What have you seen this week?
Yeah. By the way, I just got to say, I'm collecting Michael Crichton hardback books, so I'm always on the look for those. I've got, I love his writing, and I love all the movies that are based on his stuff, even though they are very flawed and sometimes really bad, but they're so watchable.
Maybe you got to check out Dragon Teeth, because I brought it up to
Dragon
Mikey
Teeth?
and Erica, and
Yeah.
it's called Dragon Teeth by Michael Crichton. I just started reading it. So it's
Ooh.
pretty good.
Sold. What did I see? I saw the weirdest trio of movies you could ever imagine. I saw Minions and Monsters, the new Minions movie,
New
which I liked.
release.
I actually, it's pretty good, and it's catered to film fans. There's a lot of film history and allusions, some very like low hanging fruit, like Charlie Chaplin and like Buster Keaton kind of stuff. But there's also some like more subtle things, and I'm just a fan of the Minions. That's like my kind of brain buffering, just like these
Sure.
little yellow pills speaking like Italian gibberish, minionese, whatever you call it.
Minionese, right.
Yeah. So that was pretty good, and I'm surprised it's not doing as good, but I think Toy Story is just wiping up the box office right now.
Sure.
Is it good?
I saw Anaconda, the new one,
Adrian's favorite movie of the year, right?
which I saw Adrian gave 4 stars. I thought it was a pile of trash. I midway through, I was watching it with my wife, and I was just like, this feels like, I don't know if you guys have ever read like scripts before. It feels like I'm watching the rough draft of a script that a high school
Wow.
student wrote who doesn't know anything about screenwriting. It's just like everything is on the nose. Everything just doesn't. It was. I was just like livid because I really liked the original Anaconda, and I kind of wanted it to do. I think the premise of the new movie was so hysterical. I just hated it. Thought it was.
I think that was the point of it, though. I think it was supposed to look like high school did it. Like that's the whole point of the storyline in the movie. Like they haven't filmed the movie since they did it in high school, and they're now trying to redo it. You know what I mean? Like,
But
so
even
I
the
think it was
stuff.
supposed to have that feel.
But even the stuff that wasn't in the script that they wrote, like
Outside of their
was
character, like the
outside of their
script
character.
itself.
Yeah, I think it was like if there was a differentiation of like them in whatever real life and then the way they wrote their characters in the movie they're making, then I'd probably like that more. But it felt almost like the same quality. But
Right.
and then I saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, a oldie but weirdy. Supposedly I had seen it before. My older brother thinks that I've seen it before. Dick Van Dyke. It came out a couple years after Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. Yeah.
And it was weird. It's really weird. It's like 2.5 hours. There's like Roald Dahl worked on the film adaptation, the story, and you can tell because they go to Bulgaria and there's these weird like a king, and they're like all this like palace intrigue, and there's still the flying car that it's bonkers.
But good bonkers, or just too bonkers to really.
Too bonkers unless you have the nostalgic connection to it. But the whole time I was watching it, I was like, this really doesn't ring bell. Like I don't know if I ever did watch this. So if I did, I don't remember it. I don't have a strong connection to it. It was charming, but it was weird.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because Adrian was talking about going back and watching Congo and how like the practical effects of it and like the 90s of it all doesn't necessarily hold up, but it's a fun watch. And how you watch this remake of Anaconda, I'd say the original is similar. Like you can tell it's a fake snake. It's got really bad, cheesy dialogue at times. John Voight
And
is just
terrible accents.
Yeah.
But that's like a certain charm to where like it actually pays off to be like, if it's on TV, I'm putting that on. And Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, again, if someone grew up with that and maybe that was their first taste of like surreal bonker filmmaking, then maybe it resonates a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, what I've seen all kinds of stuff. I watched, to no one's surprise, it was a late night and I wanted to put something on to fall asleep to, and it kept me up because it's just so good. And that's Pink Floyd's Pulse, which is a live concert by Pink Floyd, arguably one of the most famous ones, where David Gilmour takes the reins as a leader of Pink Floyd. I won't get too far deep into it. If you know, you know. But a great concert film to check out if you haven't yet.
Did you put like lasers on your ceiling as you're just like?
It's so good. I mean, the laser show in that movie is just so good. And I remember actually seeing David Gilmour live, and it's pretty much the same production as the one I went to. And again, nostalgic feel. Didn't have any drugs, did it soberly, but it was still a good time. Still a good
But
time.
he did have his smoke machine on, so it gave the
Sure,
ambiance to
sure.
the
Yeah.
fog.
Yeah. The frogs and birds outside were chirping along with the music, so it's very interactive. And then, it's almost an annual tradition, and again on brand, but I watched Boogie Nights, PTA's second film. If you're new to seeing this, welcome. And if you've been part of the tribe for a while, I'm a homer for Paul Thomas Anderson. But objectively, I think Boogie Nights is one of the greatest films end to end ever made. You can argue it's the best edited film, the best written script, the best cinematography, the best performances of each actor in this film. So for me, I absolutely, no secret, it's my favorite movie. Adrian, you got to grin. You've seen Boogie
I
Nights,
feel like you should just say it's my favorite movie and not try to say like it's one of the greatest movies of all time, front to back kind of thing.
but it is.
But sure, that's okay.
but it is. But it is. Um, So yeah, I watched that, and then I needed to catch up on some screeners that I had seen for some newer movies. One film that actually came out this last week, alongside the invite that I got to watch, was The Isolate Thief.
The
Yes.
ocelot, like the
Isolate,
animal.
no, the ice.
Oh man, I would have watched that. That sounds great. The Ocelot Thief.
Isolate, The Isolate Thief.
Got it.
I don't know. Adrian's film sounds better.
Well, listen, this one had a great cast. Our boy Joey Pantaleone, Joey Pants, Sean Bean, Odeya Rush from back in the Lady Bird. I hadn't seen her in the movie since Lady Bird, so it was nice to see her. And then Mackenzie Foy, who was the young girl in Interstellar. So it had a bunch of people I really enjoyed seeing on the screen. But this had very much like a Yellowstone Civil War time period, like boomer generation will really enjoy this film. It is a bit violent and graphic at times, but nothing that millennials or younger haven't already been exposed to. So it wasn't like The Death of Robin Hood when we talked about that, where it's like, oh, it's really going 100 miles per hour in that regard. And the accent work, speaking of accents, really weird. Sean Bean, incredible actor, but he's an English actor playing a Southern U.S. American accent during the Civil War. So it's just really weird to take the character and isolate it separately from like the actor itself. So that was a little odd. Joey Pants, the decisions he's making with his character is like definitely a decision. It's a creative decision. But with all that, it was fine. It was fine. It's worth watching from the filmmaking standpoint. I think the shots are very beautiful, beautifully lit. It really captures the time era and period really well. I ended up landing at about 3 stars on Letterboxd. So it's not a bad film. It's just some of the performances were really like, why were these people cast? Outside of Mackenzie, I thought she was really good, and it was great to see her. And then Odeya Rush, she was good, but she wasn't consistent with her accent. So that took me out sometimes. But that was The Isolate Thief. And then Corporate Retreat. Corporate Retreat has Alan Ruck. Coincidentally enough, it also has Odeya Rush. Like, just coincidentally, I watched back-to-back movies with her. It also has Ashton Sanders, who's really incredible actor. He was in Moonlight. And this movie is a bit essentially like a dark horror / comedy, or at least that's what it's aiming to be, about a corporate retreat that goes horribly wrong. The problem is it was neither scary or funny. It was just grotesque at times for the sake of being grotesque. And I think the talent of the actors in this film was wasted because it's a really bad script. No real motivation. Like, the motivation that is in the film of why things are happening are very ground level. Founder, former CEO trying to get revenge for being outed, played by Alan Ruck. I love Alan Ruck, for you Succession fans out there, Ferris Bueller fans, Speed fans.
Hell yeah.
So Corporate Retreat was just really bad. This one I landed on 1.5 stars. You can skip it. And then lastly, I just watched this last night, and that is Tigers Are Not Afraid. This is a Mexican film that came out in 2017. Had either of you guys heard of this one?
No.
No.
I've heard of it. I
Chad,
really
you heard
wanted
of
to see it. Yeah.
it?
It sounded excellent.
Yeah, so this was directed by Isa Lopez, if I'm not mistaken. This was her first film, shot in Mexico, takes place in Mexico. It is in Spanish. And Adrian, this reminded me a lot of Ercole, Gilgamesh's Dream, where it's taking heavy subject matter and material and incorporating like child imagination and fantasy within it to tell the story. This is a Shudder film, so it's, positioned as being horror, but what they do with the genre is really powerful because it's talking about like missing children, people that are killed, the drug lords that are, committing crimes and murders in Mexico. And I really enjoyed this film. Tigers Are Not Afraid is very um, emotional at times, the way Ercole Gilgamesh's Dream was. And it's one that I'm very glad that I saw. I would recommend 4.5 stars for this one for me. And yeah, incredible child performances. It's always hit or miss when it comes to a cast full of children, and they really do an incredible work there. So Tigers Are Not Afraid, highly recommend you folks checking that out. I invite you to check out that movie. Segue to our main movie review of The Invite.
Have you seen this?
Have you seen it?
Have you seen this?
I know, I've seen this. I know this.
Before we get started, as always, Adrian, why don't you tell us what the letterbox description is for Olivia Wilde's latest film, The Invite?
The Invite, directed by Olivia Wilde. It'll be fun. Joe and Angela's marriage is on thin ice when they invite their enigmatic upstairs neighbors for a dinner party. The night spirals into unexpected places.
Do you guys like hosting dinner parties?
Yes.
You guys, as in me and Chad, or me and my wife?
Well, Adrian, you and your wife. I can't wait for the you and Chad hosted dinner party. But you're full disclosure, Adrian. You guys like. I don't know how much you like to host, but you do host quite a bit.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. We host quite a bit. So naturally, I am not the host. Like I'd rather go to somebody's house and party. But my wife wants to be the hostess with the mostest. So that means every party's here.
That means you like to host.
Big shout out to all our fans because we're gonna be hosting another big party for our buddy Larry's 40th birthday.
Wow.
Oh,
We know Larry. You better lay low, Larry Lopez. Been a guest host here on the podcast. Some would say our comic book correspondent. So we got Spider-Man coming out soon. We got Avengers Doomsday. So maybe we'll have a birthday episode for him as well. Chad, you a big hoster? You and your wife?
Yeah, I think we do like it. We haven't been able to for a while because we're in a condo. We've been doing work on the house, but yes, in normal times, yes.
Got it. In theory, I'm a single man, so it's not the same when I host. I don't have that woman's touch, as in many parties need. But I feel like the concept of hosting a party or hosting a gathering is where I thrive. But the energy it takes to plan consumes probably about 60% of my social battery. So by the time the party comes, I'm already like, all right, so we're almost done here with this party. But I don't think any of us have ever had a dinner party quite like here in The Invite. And if you have, I can't wait to hear those stories. Olivia Wilde directed this and starred in it. You have Seth Rogen, Edward Norton, and Penelope Cruz, and that is pretty much the whole cast. Adrian, we'll start with you.
It was interesting. I enjoyed it. I think the chemistry between the four actors was great because I feel like a lot of it you can't really write. It was almost like they were just ad-libbing a lot of it, right? Like especially Seth Rogen. It felt all like off the cuff. It felt like real. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I did get a lot of the comedy. Like I thought it was hilarious. I was laughing at some of these little jokes and little like zingers that like kind of go under breath, right? Like it was ad-libbed in a way that it's almost like everybody's talking over each other, right? Like a real conversation. Like we have that issue all the time where we're talking over each other,
What do you
but
mean?
we're
We're not
still trying
talking
to get our
over
point.
each other. We never talk over each other. What do you mean?
And you like some of the jokes and punchlines come in those moments when like everybody's talking at the same time where it was like, oh, did you hear that? Like that was a good one.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that had me rolling.
Yeah.
Um, so in that sense, I really appreciated it. I think the difficult aspect of Olivia Wilde, not just directing, but being a main role in it, plays a part in that too. Like, oh wow, she did really good, and she directed this movie where I kind of felt like, oh, this is like a Seth Rogen type of movie, right? Like
Mhm.
maybe he directed this. So it was an interesting flick. I really appreciated it. Yeah.
Love that. Love that. Chad, what did you think? Spoiler free, The Invite.
Spoiler free. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. There's a lot of it that was triggering. I am a 42-year-old who grew up and lived in San Francisco, and though not a lot of the specific things happened to me that happened in this film, uh, just the general vibe, comedy, and the
Sure.
millennial angst of it. A lot of the subjects that are anxiety-inducing sources of the comedy were, I think, right on the money. And I thought, yeah, the chemistry was incredible. I think all four actors are just insanely talented and doing what they do best in
Yeah.
this. And yeah, really loved it.
You mentioned San Francisco. We see in the opening, again, this isn't really spoiler, but it does take place in San Francisco, but we don't see much of San Francisco outside of
No.
that yet. Somehow, also having lived in San Francisco for some time, it's very San Francisco coded.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? So I appreciate
Very
that.
much so.
To give more of my thoughts, I have a special guest, as I always do. And today's special guest, to help me describe how I felt after watching The Invite, is Kristen Wiig as Annie in Bridesmaid. Have either of you guys seen Bridesmaids? I imagine. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a great comedy, a lot of fun, and I think her scene that I'm going to play for you right
I think
here.
I know what you're going to do. Yeah.
Oh, hold on, playing a little early. So you know, huh? You know, I'll just
Thinking of Bridesmaids had me thinking of like when she's running across the street and has to use bathrooms, just
Yeah.
sits down.
well, that's not necessarily how I felt about the
Yeah.
movie.
Can I guess? Can I guess what it is, or do you know?
Well, sure. What do you think?
I'm going to guess you're going to show Kristen Wiig going, "Help me, I'm poor."
No.
Oh.
I'll give you context as to why I landed here. You guys mentioned the chemistry. I mean, it's only 4 actors, and on paper, before seeing the movie, I felt that they are very different kind of actors. They've done different kinds of movies, and if I was apprehensive about anything, I was like, what is the chemistry going to be like? Because this is I didn't know what this movie was about. It's best that you don't know what this movie is about. So the spoiler free review that we're giving is, we're not going into some of the details, because once you realize what's happening, I think that's some of the fun. And a lot of the great dialogue comes up after that. But I was really not sure. So once I saw the movie, Annie from Bridesmaid described exactly what I thought. So let me bring her in right now.
I feel like I'm excited and I feel relaxed and I'm ready to party with the best of them. And I'm gonna go down to the river.
Wow, it looks like somebody's really relaxing now.
After watching The Invite, I felt relaxed. I didn't think about how the movie was being made too far. There's a couple decisions where the camera was, how the camera was being moved, a couple of the edits that felt a little odd, but overall it was a lot of fun. And who doesn't love a good party that raises a lot of great deep questions? And this movie does that. A big reason why I was hoping Erica could have joined is because it examines the way men and women explore certain scenarios. And of all the movies I've seen this year, I've probably laughed with this one the most. This is the funniest movie of the year, as far as, to Adrian's point, a lot of the jokes feel improv. From what I understand, Edward Norton contributed to a lot of his own lines. Seth Rogen did a lot of his improv, and you feel it, and it makes it feel more natural. A movie like this that is only with 4 people, really only takes place in one location. You need to have that kind of organic energy to be successful, and it does. I'd also say what Olivia Wilde is doing shows, in my opinion, that she's a better actress than she is a director. And that's not a knock on her directing skills. That's just a compliment to how good of an actress she is. She totally captures an erratic, eccentric, anxious San Francisco woman. And I say that having lived in San Francisco, I imagine some people that I've met and know in this character, and like really hits it out of the park. So I really had a good time with the invite. Funniest movie of the year, top 5 movie of the year for me, midway through the year. So a lot of fun. But to make it official, let's do our Commodus scale before we jump into spoilers here. Commodus scale, up, even, or down. Adrian, you start us off. The invite. What do you
We're
get?
gonna go thumbs up. Thumbs up. Definitely check it out.
Thank you for that. Chad, where are you going?
Thumbs up. Absolutely.
You know, usually there's a bit more elaboration, extended thoughts on the invite when you give your Commodus scale, but you want to get straight to spoilers.
We're ready to get into spoilers.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I can't wait to hear of your triggers that this movie gave you and get really deep into that.
I'm interested. I was ready to ask questions and get deeper into that. When we
Yeah.
did that.
Well,
Thumbs
only
up.
go so deep.
Is that part of the trigger? A thumbs up. Thumbs up from me. It was a lot of fun. I don't think anyone would really have I would recommend this movie for everyone. I did tell Adrian after I had seen
Not
it.
kids. Not kids.
Okay, it's not family friendly in that regard. That's fair. 18 plus, 16 plus maybe even. But to your point, Chad, it is very millennial coded because of the age of the creators, the actors, the conversations that are happening. It's about a married couple and kind of the things that come up in a marriage.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy to have two people here that are married together, but nonetheless. So we'll dive into that with spoilers. Unanimous thumbs up here.
Yeah. Good.
Is that a bingo square? I think so, but we won't mention that. That's your one freebie. On to,
I don't know. Erica wasn't here, so is it
Yeah.
really unanimous?
it's for those on the episode. And
Okay.
So the quintessential question is, does white count? Does my vote count in this world of the podcast?
Here's the thing, Chad.
Adrian has an opinion.
Go ahead, Adrian.
I was just gonna say I'll allow it.
Oh, yeah.
Aw.
Listen, everyone is welcome, Chad. For our new
All inclusive.
listeners, welcome. But we do have a bit of a bit here that you're the only non-Latin. You have no Latin in you. That came out weird, but so you are
been going to a lot of movies together.
You know, that hasn't changed that he's white. So,
this is all on brand with this movie.
Yeah. Your opinion matters, just not as much as ours. Okay, on to spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Kick us off, Chad. What having grown up in San Francisco, having this movie, I spoiled it maybe a little bit with my opening line. But if you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, you know. So what about this really spoke to you, triggered you? What happened?
Well, yeah, and I know we're going into spoiler territory, but I don't think anything would be like, it's not the most shocking revelation in the world either. It is kind of universal. A lot of what's being talked about here, a lot of the relationships, a lot of the generational anxieties, a lot of class disparity, a lot of different things that are at play. And I'm a big fan of, I love the film Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, which Olivia Wilde in interviews has said is one of her North Stars for this film. And that was made in the mid to late 60s. And that's still, you watch that and you can still relate to that as a contentious marriage and strife. So I think even though there are specifics of the invite that people can latch onto if they have experience with that particular theme or subject matter, it's still very applicable across the board to just people all over the world at any age, really.
I don't know if you mentioned what triggered you though.
I didn't.
We're getting
Well,
deep here. We're getting personal.
Yeah.
It's just us fellas here, you know?
Yeah. So when I say it's not like a PTSD trigger, it's more of like I've had similar conversations so that I have not. We're in spoiler territory.
Talk specific.
I
Yeah.
have not
Yeah.
been.
So you and your wife have had conversations about.
Yeah, I have not been. I have not been approached to be involved in a romantic or
Don't feel
just
down about yourself. You know, you're a handsome fella. It'll happen soon.
Thank
It's
you,
coming.
thank you.
It's coming. Yeah. There's still time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not been approached as such. I know people who have. I have been basically in the circles of which this kind of stuff does happen.
Just to clarify, because I think maybe we talked over each other where you said the romantic aspect. You're talking about being included in group sex. I mean, this is what
being included in group sex.
You're tiptoeing around
open relationship. Well, I was just waiting. I was biding my time.
Here we are.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people that are very free with their sexuality and do go have group sex or multiple partners or just kind of open to exploring that part of themselves. And I have also been like the Seth Rogen character who is unhappy, unsure, feels restrained by their place in life,
Sure.
is very much surrounded by material goods defining who they are, maybe upset in career, and these things a lot of people relate to. Obviously, the very specific things in there with like rugs and his kind of like sad man cave is
Right.
very much like I have like pictured little things that I've done in the past, like, well, at least my record collection makes me happy. I feel like that is very millennial coded. Like we do take a lot of comfort in our material collectibles, in our
Don't start. Now you're targeting me with these attacks with all my physical media up here.
Yeah. Hey, I have records. I have Blu-rays. I collect. I am a collector. I have baseball cards. I have a stamp collection. Like
Wow.
This new bobblehead right here.
Yeah.
Fernando Valenzuela bobblehead.
Yeah. So it's just surfacing this insecurity in this in hilarious ways in this movie that I absolutely loved, but also related to.
Pretty much what I took away from that is you were not satisfied with your career until you joined the podcast scene and now you have such fulfillment that you no longer have these concerns.
Yeah.
Love
this
that.
podcast fulfills me emotionally, sexually, everything.
Wow. This podcast, some may say, even pegs you. Who knows? Adrian.
Yeah.
Adrian.
Sip of water.
We've known each other a long time. I've known you and your wife a long time. You've helped me with some creative projects that we won't talk too much about, and it's not anything. It's probably making it sound much worse than it was. Than it was. But I'm curious, like, how? I don't want.
God, I wish Erica was here for this.
Yeah, I know. How do you guys navigate just conversations in a marriage? Not necessarily about, group sex or open. Like, did you find any correlation about the frustrations Olivia Wilde and Seth Rogen's characters had with each other, being, different people? Because you've mentioned in the past, like, you don't like to host. She does like to host. Like, these different contrasts. Did this movie spark any of these things you can relate to? Did she watch the movie with you?
She did not watch it with me. I watched it myself.
Okay.
But as soon as I watched it, I got why you were like, hey, you should watch it at date night.
Yeah.
I get it, but no, she did not watch it with me. We navigate through difficult situations just like every other couple, and I think that's kind of how this was relatable, because they're the opposite. Like, you almost feel like she wants to, and he's like reserved about it, but then he almost wants to, just because it's Penelope Cruz, right?
Who among us? Yeah.
So it definitely is relatable, right? Like, I kind of don't want, like, I found myself like, if I was in this situation, how would I handle it? And
Right.
how would, like, man, that's a tough conversation. But it was spot on when like they're just looking at each other and just like the way they looked at each other. Like you guys say it's hard eyes, right? Like I'm always giving my wife hard eyes. Like it's those subtle, like non-verbal communication that we like. I'd have to be reading her,
Sure, sure,
like
sure,
how is she taking this?
sure.
How is that going down? And then as a man, we just react to the situation, try
Right.
to,
Right. Oh, I think that's one thing I initially rubbed up against, no pun intended, is that when this is propositioned to them, proposed to them, they kind of on the spot are like, "You down?" Like, "Yeah, I mean, if you're down, I'm down," right? Like very on the spot.
but they weren't. They almost like call each other out and then like, okay, I'm down.
Uh,
Like, yeah, I would do it right now.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like again, their marriage is crumbling. Like they're in a bad marriage in this
So here's
story.
the thing, like, I don't necessarily agree with that because
Oh,
of the way
Me
it
neither,
ended. Like,
actually.
it
Yeah.
wasn't a bad marriage. It was, to me, I felt like it was relatable because it was um coming back to like a male mental health, which is a big topic right now, right? We've gone through, BLM, we've gone through the Me Too movements, we've gone through all these social changes and social awarenesses, like the woke movement. But I think it's slowly coming back to like mental health. All these things all come around to mental health, whether it's acceptance, inclusion, all this stuff starts to come back to like some type of mental health. And I think the male version of it, I'm seeing a lot of it. Maybe it's just my social media feeds, but it seems like a lot of it is like, men are quietly, being abused. Men are quietly taking all this punishment and suffering. And, it's time for us to speak up and be about, like let go of our emotions. Stop bottling it up and talk about it, right? So a part of it was that was this movie. He is stressed out. He is depressed. He is unsatisfied, not with his marriage, but with himself. And in that, it damages the marriage, right? Like himself having issues. She's trying to fix. She's a woman. She wants to help him. She wants to fix him. She wants to be a part of it. And just as a man, we keep that to ourselves and we just shut everything out. Just a part of the daily grind.
all valid. I can just hear Erica like cutting you off somewhere along those lines.
Yeah.
Like, men ain't shit.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So what an
Well,
episode to not have
yeah.
her on for here. But
And
Chad,
that's a part of like
sure.
like Chad was saying, the millennial type of trauma and stuff. Like that is it. With women empowerment, there's men ain't shit. And that does have an effect on men as a society,
Chad, you were gonna say something.
Oh,
I'll
God.
let you take that one.
I got this. Trust me. No,
Please.
I agree with most of what you said. I think I actually found that both Seth Rogen and Olivia Wilde's character were both kind of suffering from the same things, just unhappiness and an unwillingness. Because I think it was kind of there are gender things at play, but I also think a bigger blanket was that they are just of the age and stuck in a spot where they had a kid who was not shown in the film, but that's an
Right.
important part because
We don't know the age, right?
I think they said 11.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
they
because
said
she's
11.
like she's when she leaves
Yeah.
the college and he's like, that's in like 9
Yeah,
years
yeah.
or
I think they
something,
say
so
11, 10 or 11, but
yeah.
they both
Makes
give
sense.
that as a reason why they're still in their relationship. But I also don't think the relationship is crumbling. I think they just don't know what to do about each other's unhappiness, which is actually just a mirror to their own unhappiness. And one of my favorite like lines, I don't know it verbatim, but Penelope Cruz's character, who is a sex psychotherapist, is she says like sometimes a relationship is done, sometimes you start a new relationship with yourself, sometimes you start a new relationship with each other, the same people, or sometimes you start
But I
a new
think this one's done.
relationship with a new person. And I liked to me optimistic critic, I saw this. It's a slightly ambiguous ending. There's like hopeful that they'll at least be okay wherever
Yeah.
their path takes them. But to me, it was like, oh, they needed this night. They needed to like
Yeah.
to vent all that out each other, hear it back at them, and that will create a new relationship for themselves. And also seeing another couple that at the beginning they're like idolized from afar, but slowly you start to see the cracks in Penelope Cruz and Edward Norton's relationship as well. So it's like
Who we learn have only been together about a year.
right.
So
So
it's
so
relatively
there's
newer.
yeah, I loved how the script just slowly reveals things like throughout, and you're like, oh, that's not perfect either. Like there's all these things at play, and
The grass isn't always greener on the other
yeah,
side.
yeah, it was just really, really wonderful.
To your guys' points, I think a theme of the movie is a lot of like what's not spoken but needs to be spoken, right? And
Yeah.
even in Pina and Hawk,
Yeah.
Edward Norton's character, like even in their relationship, because there's a point where like she's like, I'm always like, your Spanish is always wrong, and I try to help you. I try to like tell you, like you can see there's almost like that bridge or that dam, that
He
wall.
corrects her English,
Yeah.
right?
Right. And he's like, well, fuck, it's like I never correct you, and I try to help you. And what do you mean? So like there's angst that I think couples hold in, almost like a pick your battles, right? Until the flood comes and you just, it's a dangerous place to be. And I think the
I think
movie
that's why it was so relatable.
and I
Yeah.
think the movie like highlights the importance of having open conversations. And I think the Trojan horse, no
Odyssey spoilers.
no Odyssey spoilers, but the Trojan horse is the group sex or the
Yeah.
orgy
Yeah.
or the like. It's presented in this fun topic that
Or the swap, right? Because they were
Correct.
like, oh, Edward
Yeah.
Norton, Penelope Cruz, like, yeah,
yeah,
I'll switch.
and I
Yeah.
think that is what is presented as the fun comedic aspect of this movie, but really it's about communicating with your partner and not holding things back, having open dialogue as much as it's important about talking about anything, whether it's an open marriage, relationship, how to
Yeah.
raise a child, everything, right? I've been very high on this movie. I'll just say one thing. Adrian, tell me this. What do you get on your hot dog? But like,
I don't eat hot dogs.
I already went through this exercise.
yeah, I tested this out on Chad as soon as we watched the movie. You don't need hot dogs.
I don't eat hot dogs.
Okay, shit, this isn't gonna work. Chad, let's
Or-
pretend you haven't heard this yet. Okay, so
I
Chad,
went to a Dodger game and I couldn't eat a Dodger dog.
Really?
I would normally put ketchup and onions.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been like 4 years that I stopped eating hot dogs.
so ketchup, onions, and that's it. Mustard, no.
Nah.
Okay, this
I
isn't
don't
gonna.
do mustard. I don't do relish.
Okay, this won't work with you then. Okay, Chad, what do you put on your hot dog?
What a stupid question. How dare you ask me that?
Yeah.
Ketchup, mustard, and relish.
Perfect.
He needs
Now-
3 items, Adrian.
Yeah, I needed 3, and it worked out right out of the movie
Yeah.
organically.
Yeah, he got me.
Now, when you make this hot dog with these 3 condiments, you spread it across the whole hot dog, correct? It's
Yes.
all mixed together, correct?
Yes.
This film, you can feel Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. I feel like there's very clear segments, and even the tone of it itself feels different to the point where in the 3rd act, you feel like, okay, we've had our fun and games, we've done everything. We need to have a wholesome, powerful ending with emotion. And because that wasn't spread out throughout the whole movie, like you would like your hot dog ingredients to be, it felt like you got a movie that started with ketchup on the first third of the hot dog, and then you got mustard in the middle, and then relish at the end, where it's still edible, but each bite is going to taste different. And I felt like each act of this movie hit differently. And I think because the relish was at the end, it's the most distinct and felt so different than the rest of the hot dog. I hope that
And
makes
right
sense.
now, Adrian, your expression is how I reacted to him giving me this story. And while I gave him credit for the interesting and apt
Analogy.
metaphor for his opinion, I disagree with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did not feel like it was 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But in your defense, Mikey, I don't pay attention to those things. Like I'm not that cinematically inclined to realize like, oh, there's act 1, act 2, act 3.
Well,
Like
three-act
I
structure.
don't get those drifts.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah.
see the edits like you guys do. Those are just things that I still haven't
Yeah.
been trained enough to see.
Thank God,
So
because it
that
can be
doesn't affect me as much.
it can be a curse. I mean, it definitely can be a curse that you can't not see that. And I just felt like them landing the plane on a very different, like, okay, the group sex has gone out. So the swap has gone out because Seth Rogen's back went out. So now that's just out the window. Now we're expressing feelings and we're talking about relationship ending or starting anew. And Chad, you talk about the ambiguous ending where the fight has happened or the argument, whatever. Hawk and Pina leave, but we don't see them leave. So it's kind of insinuating almost that like this could have been, were they ever there? Was this
Yeah, it's
just
weird.
right? It is weird. I think they had to have been there because too much happens. But at the end, he's finally playing the piano because he feels he's a failed musician and he hasn't touched the piano in years. And he's playing, and she comes joining him to play. And that could be interpreted as, you know what, let's give this relationship another go. We needed to have this night. Or, hey, I love you. I want to be able to still be friends with you, but romantically, this ain't going to be it. How did you
I
guys
didn't
think?
get that.
You didn't. What did you get?
I got that they were gonna make it work. Like there's still love there. Like me and Chad were saying, like it was just like moments of depression, moments of just life becoming too much, overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then it was them finding each other.
That's what
You're
I got. Yeah.
optimistic, so yeah.
Well, but I like that when he sits down to play the piano, he's not like looking toward. He's doing it for himself.
Yeah.
It's not to bring her over. So he's doing the thing that is best for being a more healthy himself, and she comes to him because that's the thing that she's been reluctant to do. Kind of the whole night is acknowledge that he is the one that she wants, and so they both do the thing that is best for themselves, but in fact that brings them together. So I think
That's what's best for the marriage.
yeah. So I think it is a new relationship between them. But I
Listen,
also did not, despite the 3-act structure, I think it actually flowed quite well.
That's great. No, and it's not like, again, the hot dog is still enjoyable. It just, I could taste.
But no one makes their hot dog that way. So
that's correct. Hence, Olivia Wilde's a better actress than director. But that's being harsh. She did a fine job on this film. And listen, I love the little, even cultural aspects, like the correction of the language, and also like, it's not hamon. It's more like prosciutto. When Olivia Wilde tries to make the meat,
was so
it's more
good.
like prosciutto, which is very San Francisco. Like the charcuterie board scene in SF is out of control. I love me a charcuterie board. You know, we were all indoctrinated with Lunchables as the step up to that. Tell me, Chad, do you ever walk in front of your window naked to catch alluring eyes, and how does that work out for you?
The first part I do, but it's not to catch lurid eyes. I hope there's none on me.
You're playing the risk. You're doing the maybe.
Usually blinds are closed.
I see. Okay. Got
so
it.
alas, no is the correct answer to your question. I just wanted to take some credit for at least,
You are naked in your house. Got it. Thank you for clarifying. Thank you for clarifying. Let's get to double features.
Listen,
Adrian.
you want to know details about things, and then you don't want to know details about things. What's a man supposed to do?
I'm the opposite of Chad. I walk around and I don't look for the eyes, but I also don't care. So like my neighbor has a Ring camera over their back door, but their back door happens to look like kind of over our wall and into like my backyard, like where I would walk from my kitchen to my garage.
Yeah.
And my laundry's right there. So sometimes, like I got my chonies in the dryer and I gotta go get them. So I'll run from the shower straight and I'll take my time. I'll walk, but my wife's like, man,
I'll take my time.
You should look at the camera and just be like,
yeah.
She's like, what if somebody can see you? I was like, then they get a show. Who cares?
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm in my house. If they're looking in my house, that's on them.
That's another thing I love that the movie does. Like it has that conversation. Like it's not just like a metaphor. Like they have the specifics. Like how does this work? Like how,
Yeah,
like, what are these boundaries, and it touches on the different kinks. Like Edward Norton Hawk is into pegging. Olivia Wilde.
Like I'd be asking all kinds of questions. I
Well,
think I have like
yeah,
Mikey's known me a long time. Like people would come up and mention their sexuality. And I'm like, I got questions. Like,
yeah.
sure.
We're all Olivia
let's have a
Wilde in that
conversation about
scene,
this.
just like, oh, how do you do this? Oh, that's cool. Like, what about
Right.
this? So that it's like, yeah,
And I think it's
funny.
it's also fascinating because this movie, um, it understands that everyone has these curiosities, whether they're for you or for not. The curiosity of how
Yeah.
things work and that kind of dynamic, because it is so, left field, or it's, not for everyone, not for the average person per se. So it's very interesting when you learn about it. Without too much detail, I explored polyamory at one point in my life,
I just
and
didn't want to explain that you were the one I had all those questions for.
about my sexuality, right? It's all
I'm
good.
glad you brought it up, though. Yeah, me and Mikey have had conversations. And I asked him all kinds of questions.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
curious.
because it's one of those things, on paper,
In theory,
being monogamous doesn't make sense to the animal kingdom, was my perspective. Still kind of, but we don't need to get into that. And I think, we have one life, and my perspective on it is we are sexual beings. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to hide from. And as long as you are open, honest, communicative with anyone you're in these dynamics with, and everyone's consenting and everyone's on board, go wild. Like, explore. You don't know what you like until you know what you like, in that regard. And everyone is different. And I think this movie does a great job of opening up that conversation. Join us on Patreon where I'll tell you more stories of my adventures in polyamory.
I mean, now that you talk, like I have more questions, Mikey. Like,
Let's hear it.
since you were
Sure.
curious, like, so have you been pegged?
I have not. That one is a boundary for me. I'm not into. I'm not into
you wouldn't
that.
check that on the menu.
I wouldn't check that on the menu. I've been to a sex club in Toronto and wanted to just see what it was all about, and it's quite an experience. It's fascinating because I was like you, Adrian. Like, these are people that have done this or been doing this and whatever. I had questions. It's
Did when you went to said club, did you let it all hang out, or were you clothed? Like, how does that work?
this is
Like
all.
everybody, you just walking around, kind of watching things.
So what I'll say is how it was in this club. It's clothing optional. Majority of people either just had a rope or were just going for it, like just free balling.
And you?
We need to save some things to the imagination, Adrian. All
Yeah.
right.
Save it for the Odyssey podcast.
Yeah. Stay tuned. Follow up next week, where I talk about my Trojan horse. But let's get into double features before I get into too much trouble here.
See what happens when Erica is not on. It's just three dudes talking.
She'd be the one cutting this conversation off
that's
real
true.
quick.
Yeah.
I can assure you that. Double features.
For double feature.
Double feature.
Double feature. Double. Toilet trouble.
Double of everything.
Maybe I better go back and see another double feature.
Adrian, what would you recommend people to pair with the invite?
I went Wanderlust with Jennifer Aniston and Paul Rudd. Came out in 2012. Similar kind of concept where like a married couple has a different living situation where they get kicked out of their house kind of a thing. They need a new place to stay, and they think about this commune. And this commune happens to have like a lot of free love and, that kind of notion where, you guys are a couple and they're having their own issues and battles, but it's like, are you into trying other things with other people? And touches on some topics that are similar to what happens in this movie. So I would say go check out don't go check it out. Order or pull it up on streaming because from 2012, Wanderlust.
Unless you have a local video rental store. Shout out Movie Madness, where we did second screen and stages. Get that physical
I
media.
got to shout out here in Pomona. They started one of those little Blockbuster houses where it's like
Nice.
take a book, leave a book, and they did it with
Movies.
DVDs. So the only thing is
love
they asked for no like pirated, no bootleg movies.
Sure.
It's got to be actual hard copy DVD.
Brilliant. I love that.
Love
And
it.
hopefully people
Great.
stay true to it and don't just steal a movie. You know what I mean? But I guess that's the same for books. But yeah, I love that. Love that. Chat, what would you pair with the invite?
I am pairing the 2020 comedy Shiva Baby.
A very white selection.
How dare you, sir?
Go
Very
ahead, sorry.
Jewish
Well,
selection.
You said it, not me. Yeah.
Similarly, it's mostly takes place in one location. It's about this young woman who goes to a shiva, which is a Jewish mourning event because someone has passed, and it's just a biting satire about the generations and her awkward uh, reunions with different family members and friends at this shiva, and it is hysterical. And so many, like, similarly, I was watching it just like, oh my god, I've had these exact conversations at these kind of events. It's just like one of those, like, oh my gosh, it's so hilarious and awkward, and it's just all about the dialogue and where they are in their lives and trying to navigate
Are you
this
Jewish?
like
Chat?
reunion. Sorry.
Are you Jewish? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
you've gone to a lot of Jewish events?
Yeah.
Bar mitzvahs and stuff? Huh?
Yeah. Yes, I've had my bar.
The only word I know.
I have had my bar mitzvah. Yes.
There goes the scene.
So
this
bar
podcast.
mitzvahs for the girls and bar mitzvahs for the boys?
Bar is boys, bat is for girls.
Ah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
The more you know.
Shiva Baby. I actually saw this one, Chad, and I gave it the same.
Yeah.
I gave it the same rating as I gave The Isolate Thief, 3 stars. Is it a drama? Is it a comedy? Is it a parody? I got Darren Aronofsky Mother vibes, like the anxiety behind.
Oh, I didn't think it was that. Like, that's like almost a horror film.
Yeah,
Maybe you just need to be part of the tribe to really appreciate it.
Well, tough times recently. We were talking. Anyways, yeah, I Shiva Baby, it's fun, and obviously, like, that put what's her name, Rachel Sennott on the map.
Rachel Sennott, yeah.
Rachel Sennott on the map. And it's a good movie. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to knock your double feature.
No, I know. I highly encourage everybody to check that. It's really funny. It is anxiety inducing. It is like,
right.
It's a stress test a little bit.
I'm actually going to recommend a movie we just covered, The Drama. The Drama is the second funniest movie I watched this year. It takes a dark tone on comedy. It has a commentary on, I don't want to give anything away to that because we're not talking about that movie, but it does have a commentary on a very important issue. And it's very much a conversation starter. And this movie is a conversation starter in a different direction. But I think, considering they're both new, they're both A24, and they're both best not knowing anything about it. So if you haven't had a chance to check out The Drama, highly, highly recommend that. Again, also in my top 5 movie of the year thus far. Let's draft some stock. So nobody is off the board. 1 second. I need to get.
There's only 4 people on that crew.
Yeah, I need to get Chad's. I don't know where your little post-it is, Chad. So you're going to be Erica as far as the letter goes.
What an honor.
What an honor. She'd love to hear that. She'd be like, you wish. Yeah. That's why we need her here, is to make sure I don't say anything inappropriate. Okay, so nobody.
We've covered a lot of topics tonight.
We've covered quite a bit. Pain, suffering, and dialogue. That's us. So yeah, I don't believe anybody. We haven't drafted anybody in this film. So everybody is available.
Is this the first time that I get to go first?
I'm mixing and matching. Here we go. Going first is fucking Chad, because E is for Chad. H is for Homer. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
He's gonna take this fellow Jew and go Seth Rogen.
Oh, here we go. Hey, take it easy. Adrian, you're going second. That means I'm going last. Holy hell. Let's get us through this episode here. All right, Chad, look at that. Yeah. You know what? You know, it'd be the real minority move here. It's like, even though you go first, you go last. But we won't do that. We won't do that. We've put you through a lot this episode, so
Yeah.
you get to have first pick.
You've been a good sport. You can go first.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Go right ahead. Who are you taking from?
I am going to take Olivia Wilde. I really respect her for this move. I think I'm a huge fan of Booksmart. I think that was a great debut feature for her as a director. I actually think she directed this really, really, really well. I think there's some editing things that I bumped up on, but I think the direction actually was pretty solid. I think this is my favorite of her performances. This is going to be the stepping stone that I think now she's gonna make like bigger, bolder films, and I could see this getting some Oscar nominations. And I think this is where the Olivia Wilde train really kicks off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had a bit of a rough patch there with Don't Worry, Darling. A lot of controversy kind of behind that film. And she's been in the game forever as an actress. I remember getting introduced to her in Alpha Dog, which, speaking of Pomona, takes place there in LA County, Inland Empire. So that was that was kind of like we were talking about on the other episode, Boondock Saints, where it's like it's a little off, like it's a cult classic in that way. Alpha Dog, I think, was. But yeah, Olivia Wilde, great pick. Adrian, before you pick, I will give you some a correction here that we have had Penelope Cruz drafted, and you know who owns her? You do. You got.
I was gonna say I was torn because I was wanting to pick her right now again.
You have Penelope Cruz in The Bride for that shit show of the movie. But she was great in this, so I'd say stock up for Penelope.
Stock is going up already.
And Spain's in the final, so her and Javier.
You getting Penelope Cruz for The Bride is like me getting Martin Scorsese for Mandalorian.
Right. So who are you taking then with this pick?
Ooh, that's a tough one, man. It's easier because now it's just Seth Rogen or Edward Norton, right?
You could do the crew. You've got some.
Right, but I mean,
we haven't even mentioned Rashida Jones, who gets a writing credit on here, as well as Will McCormick.
I'm gonna go Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
He's funny.
Showing your
I think
ally
he does a lot of stuff.
He's being an ally there. Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
I got you, Chad.
Okay. And I mean, Seth Rogen, just like Olivia Wilde, is a creative filmmaker, series director, all the things as well. So there's a great opportunity for his stock to rise.
He's a hustler. He's always trying to work and do things. Whether it's writing, directing, or acting, like he's trying to be involved. So his stock is going to go up also.
So in theory, that just leaves me with Edward Norton as far as cast goes.
Rashida.
And I will say Edward Norton is probably one of his more reserved roles that he's done in The Invite, but still quite effective because it's very different than anything he's done before, I think.
And I think that subtlety was perfect, like how he handled certain.
Yeah.
I think he was spot on.
Yeah, he was great for the tone.
This was a great role.
Yeah.
With
that said, he's great. I mean, I had a debate. One of my buddies, Sean, shout out Sean, he's a listener of the pod, says Edward Norton is his favorite actor, and he'd be very disappointed if I didn't take him. But I also said, there's a lot of people better than Edward Norton. But I think that might be a hot take. People love Edward Norton, and I do. I love Edward Norton.
Edward Norton's great.
He is great.
And the range.
Yeah. With that being said, I'm going to have to pay real close attention to this stock because I'm actually going to take one of the editors, Yorgos Mavropasaridis. Sorry, butchering that last name.
One of Yorgos's
guy who has edited Poor Things, Begonia, The Lobster, The Favorite, Killing of the Sacred Deer. Yorgos's guy, Yorgos. Yeah. Even though we mentioned the editing, or Chad, you mentioned the editing felt a little off, I think the films he's worked on, he's going to continue to get work. And I think he's incredibly talented. I think he's a talent. Shout out to Edward Norton. I might regret it, but he's also,
I mean, just completely ignored your buddy Sean and his advice. So
It's a story of our friendship,
Sorry,
story of our
Sean.
friendship. Sorry, Sean.
Yeah.
Fellow. Well, now this is going to put me in a bad light. Fellow Jew. Not
Yeah.
they're not listening.
Cool.
To this,
now there's two of us that are your friends, although you might have just lost one.
I'm hitting my quota.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think I like to take people that are behind the camera, and Yorgos gonna have a lot of work ahead of him. So here we are. And there's the great Lord providing you great sunlight. For
I
you
am
and
the
your
chosen
family.
one.
There it is.
The chosen people.
With that, thank you guys for listening. Make sure to follow us across all of our social media at Seen This Pod. Go to seenthispod.com to check out all of our episodes, our socials, our new merch. A new female woman shirt has been launched onto there. So, trying to expand slowly but surely with our new brand here. So go check that out. Like, comment, subscribe, be a part of the tribe, leave a review, show you're part of the crew. And next week, we have Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, which I cannot wait to talk about. It is a long one. Go to the bathroom before it starts and settle in for quite an epic. But until then, stay safe.